checking in. Astrodoodle reading. see what we can do with this. I hope I've got it clear enough. It's kind of an, well, let's have a look here. It's kind of an awkward astrodoodle this evening. Hold on. Give me a second here. I'm still trying to get organized with all the setting up for the show. Let's have a look. Oh, wow. Hello, everybody. Just checking in the chat. Hi, Tina. Hi, Fluffles. So, Tina, I've got you booked already. And Fluffles, I got you booked already. Hello, Esther. Good to see you. Hello, Maria. Good evening. What's up with the planets tonight? Well, you're going to find out. You've just been tired and antisocial for a couple of weeks. Oh, I can relate. Yeah. Oh, it looks like Esther's a sports fan. Okay. I don't do sports. I have no clue. Oh, you're not on the mountain. Yes, of course. You kind of, that whole situation with the house changed. It's. I didn't know it was so high up on a mountain. Yeah. Hey, Necessary Truth. I see you. I see you. Hi. Well, it's New Mexico's already high altitude. It's high desert, but when you get up into the mountains, it's really high desert. Hello, son. Hello, Fluffles. Esther. Only do Bills sports. Oh, okay. All right. Fair enough. Buffalo Bills. Well, that would be your team anyway, wouldn't it? So, planets. So there's a lot of compression going on with the energy, okay? Well, I'm going to see if I can show this a little bit more clearly, way up at the top there. I'm going to have to use another pen, I think. We're getting this compression effect. We've got Moon, Venus, and Mercury all squashed up here in Sagittarius. Now that is just a repeat kind of energy of focusing the spotlights onto the fraud and the corruption. Okay, eventually this axis here is going to switch to this axis here as things compress. As Mercury moves forward to Capricorn, Venus moves forward, Moon moves forward into Capricorn, the energy is going to compress tighter and tighter and tighter onto Neptune, okay? Mars is already still here, tight on Neptune. The Sun has moved on. Pluto's still at the crisis point. This is the, I guess I should mark it. You know what? Let me put a big, big red something over here, okay? Big red alert. Bam, bam, bam. This is it, folks. We're on the cusp. It's going to get, we're already there, 29.5 degrees. I mean, I don't know how much tighter you can get, you know. Hello, Russian Thoughtbot. Oh. You're okay. The other house was 9,000 feet up. Oh, okay, that's like the height of Mount Charleston. Over here, we got in Las Vegas. We got Mount Charleston. So Tina is talking about over here near Albuquerque. So Tina's up there, and a few hundred miles away, there's Gregory Ross. Okay. And Tina had her place up in the mountains there. This is all high desert, but with Tina, it was high desert, high mountains in the high desert, so 9,000 feet. So at 9,000 feet, we got something similar over here with Mount Charleston, and it's completely snow-covered right now. And you can get up there. You can get, I can get up to like 7,000, even almost 8,000 feet. Okay, on a car. Yeah. Yep, the map. Yep. So, yeah. Yeah, it's pretty chilly in America. Of course, America right now, it's winter. So we're having some fairly unusual, well, it's not unusual, it's winter, okay? Winter in America, there's usually a lot of snow and ice and very difficult weather up here. It's still fairly warm down here. This is average over here. This is all average over here. So there you go. So now you're down to a very modest 6,000 feet. But that's still high altitude. So Tina asked earlier, like, oh, are you going to be here tonight because you just did a show last night? Hello, Ivona. Good evening. So yeah, I did a show last night because I was very, very concerned about the geopolitical landscape, and I had this profound moment of validation yesterday when I opened my Epoch Times app. And I saw this major headline article about revolutionary overthrow is in the works for the leader of China. Okay? That's very, very scary. That is, talk about revolution. I mean, talk about classic revolution. Talk about the timing. Now, the other reason it's such a big deal to me personally, again, it's mostly to do with validation of my work here, but we're at the cusp right now, right? We're at the 0 point. We're entering a 20-year journey here. We've talked about it many times. We're entering, this is the beginning, the opening. We're actually not just peeking through the door and coming back in. We're actually walking through the front door to a new era. The era, the keywords for the new era are number 1, revolution, upheaval, instability, global restructuring in order to democratize and decentralize human institutional behavior, from taking it away from an extremely corrupted and highly partisan and very perverse pyramidal structure like feudal, kings, queens, lords, ladies, empires, lords and masters, and squashing it all flat down to a decentralized way of being that's much more about we the people, we the community. It's exactly the same storyline that happened 250 years ago over here, where these founders fought against the tyrannical king over here, because at the time the King of England was the Lord of the universe. They pretty much ran everything around the world in terms of commerce and law. So, typing rebellion. Now, I mean, it's staggering. It's just staggering what's happening right now. And if you do the follow-up, if you start really, really digging to all the stuff inside China, it's no wonder they're heading towards a revolution. This country here is literally falling apart. It's imploding. It's collapsing live, real time, from the inside out. If you think Sri Lanka was a catastrophe, there's little tiny Sri Lanka, okay? Yes, it was catastrophic. Multiply that by billions, okay? So the revolution is not just really about the people against the Mr. Ping. It's actually about some ruling elites. It's actually the younger adult children of the ultimate leaders of the ruling elites are planning a coup, a revolutionary takeover to take out Mr. Ping. It's mind-boggling. I was sort of hoping, expecting that something like this would happen, but I didn't expect it to see it on such a bright, vivid headline. It's terrifying. It's absolutely terrifying to witness, but it's also very exciting because it tells me personally that things like freedom, truth, honesty, integrity, trust, respect, rule of law are not dead. Okay? Over here in America, it's very much dead. America is like a twitching corpse at the moment because it has been systematically decimated and crushed, pulverized to the condition that it is today. It is a completely planned organization to take out the United States. And it is the last dream of George Soros. He was quoted that before I die, my ultimate dream is to see the destruction of the United States of America. And that's why he is working so hard right now to destroy this place. He's doing it without firing bullets. It's an incredibly successful operation. He's doing an amazing job through subversion, corruption, bribery, blackmail, whatever you want to call it. Okay, to take out. I mean, we all know this. Okay, so just let me get it out of my system. I'll try to stay apolitical. But anyway, over here, it's very heavily, very ultra hyper liberal, basically communism over here and over here. Okay, those are the main communist enclaves. Okay, that's the coastline over here. A lot of the American elites of the elites and the wealthy and the wealthiest of the wealthy and the controlling ruling classes live around here and here and here. And they fly back and forth to each other all the time, and they barely ever hang around here because they call this flyover country. The way they look at people like me is that we're just like cattle. So they fly over it. We are inferior beings that are there to be exploited, farmed, eliminated, decimated, depopulated, according to their, technocratic theoretical agendas. It's mind-boggling. But of course, as you've probably noticed, if you even have a slight interest in what's happening with the welfare of this country, there is a revolution in the making. Okay, it's not going to look like the China Revolution. It's going to be a different form of revolution. It's going to be more, I believe, more contested in the courtrooms and the law and the halls of politics over here. I also believe that we're going to see over the 20-year period, especially in this middle period, early middle period here, when Uranus gets into Gemini. Okay? So, excuse me. When you're for as far as Pluto is concerned, Uranus in Gemini is going to happen roughly here for a 7-year period. Okay, and that means Uranus in Gemini will enter here in a couple of years, 2025. Okay, and that's a 7-year journey. When you combine this with this, it's going to be revolution. Okay. We're already dealing with the global financial chaos and upheaval. That's an ongoing thing, and that's going to continue for a couple more years, okay? Oh, Tina, if you want to know who or what is pulling the strings. So he's a puppet. He works for, well, I'll just share with you. This is my latest thing. I've been doing a lot of studies, a lot of homework on it. I try to get, as much information as I can from the most respectable sources that I can. And most of the sources that I go would be considered, okay, hold on, stay there. Most of the places where I go to get information used to be considered like, wacko conspiracy theorist type enclaves. And today, they are all proven correct. So it's like, told you so. Anyway, the latest thing is this. I'm just going to give you an update because this has only come out to my awareness in the last 36 hours. Okay, let's not take sides here. You know what side where I belong, where I stand, but I'm trying to be neutral. Right, so it's pretty obvious. It's very, very obvious to the rest of the world that Grandpa Joe is a complete, utter clown, puppet, a disaster. The worst president in American history. It's a controlled demolition of the United States. Yes, it is all planned out. And he is being controlled and operated essentially by Susan Rice and the old Obama regime, all in collusion with like a deep state organization comprised of the people, the notorious people already, the Bill Gates squad, the George Soros non-government organizations, the United Nations, the World Health Organization, all of these unelected elites that, and of course the biggest corporations and the banks, okay, Blackstone, BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street, they all operate as a swarm. There is a swarm, and there's no exact specific leader. There is no single individual entity behind the curtain where you can just go, hello. It's not there. It's a swarm. They all want the same thing. They want globalized tyranny. And they're all working in synchrony to make that happen. The most powerful weapon is money. So they're doing that through the banking system. Watch out for something called CBDC, Central Bank Digital Currencies. It's already a tool of imprisonment in many places in the world, and it's expanding, and they're trying to impose it on America. I doubt whether it will happen. There will be a revolution before that happens. But anyway, I was reading some notes from these. You won't see this on the mainstream anywhere, okay, Tina? All I'm suggesting is if you want a really quick answer, everybody knows that Biden is he's a disaster. He's a disaster, and he's doing everything to project onto the main contender. That the main contender is the worst thing that could possibly happen to America in American history. Okay, that's his campaign strategy. That's the campaign strategy of Grandpa Joe. It's pathetic. It's embarrassing. It's shameful. I mean, it's hard to watch. It's really hard to watch this stuff, and everybody in the world is watching, and they're watching it like it's a comedy show. People can't believe that this level of degradation and deprivation is actually happening in America, but it is. And so the Democrat Party realizes they cannot win. They cannot possibly win in a legitimate poll with legitimate elections. So they're throwing out all these crazy ideas. And one of the craziest, newest idea, which is to me the most credible, is that they are funding a Republican candidate called Nikki Haley, who is a rhino. She's a Republican in name only. She is a complete WHORE to the elites, okay? And she is attracting huge amounts of money to her campaign because the global elites are realizing there's no point in funding the Grandpa Joe campaign. It's dead. It's dead in the water. So they are starting to implement a new strategy where they are going to very, very delicately and diplomatically recommend to their extremely committed Democrat population of voters that it is time to think strategically, people. Without saying it outwardly, we cannot win in the polls. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to switch your vote from Democrat to Republican, and you're going to vote for Nikki Haley, because Nikki Haley is basically a Democrat on steroids, okay? So that's the plan. I mean, it's the most bizarre election strategy ever in America, but that's the plan, okay? You asked, so I'm just revealing. That's the latest, and it makes by far the most sense of anything else that's out there. So just watch for a developing story, okay? Let me go back over here for a minute. All right, so like I said, we've got some compression happening here. All the moon is accelerating. Okay, in 4 or 5 days, we're going to have the moon is going to be right over here. So things are going to be emotionally turbulent, very turbulent around here in a few days, and then it'll fade. We've got Venus and Mercury and Mars grinding away into heading towards Capricorn, and then ultimately to the Aquarian cusp here for Pluto. So this is over a period of weeks, okay? We've already talked about it yesterday. We talked about January, mark your calendars, January 20, 21, and 22, okay? That is the point of critical mass. That is the tipping point. That's where the whole world tips into Pluto and Aquarius for the next 20 years, okay? There's no going back, no more retrogrades, okay? It's full on. So you might as well get used to it and understand that things are going to become very unstable in America. Extreme instability. And it's going to show up in the financial markets, housing, things like banking, stock market, CBDCs, the intensifying currency war between America and the rest of the world. It's not over, people. It's really only just beginning. We've got years and years ahead of financial chaos and turmoil, while the American dollar system is crumbling and the new BRIC alternative is growing, and simultaneously those two operate as fake money. That's the world of fake money, fiat systems. And there is a parallel world that is going to unfold over the next 20 years in the world of cryptocurrencies. Okay? It's going to be long, slow, chaotic, sometimes very painful, bumpy, revolutionary. But it's going to happen, okay? Because it has to. So the compression is building up. We're building up to it now, and it's really literally days away. Okay, we're gonna go through a period of compression here. Today is the 7th. Okay, over here is the point of critical mass. This is the tipping point right here, and then we move into a new world, a new era. This is the dawn of a new era. Okay. We're going to go through this new moon in a couple of days for Capricorn. And then we're going to have the full moon. And that will be Sun in Aquarius, Moon in Leo. Also, just before that, we're going to have the Sun entering Aquarius. Okay? On the same day. Okay? Talk about a double whammy here. The extremes of the universe. The Sun and Pluto. You can't get farther apart. Okay? So, there's our Sun, okay? And now this map obviously is not to scale. And there's dear little tiny Pluto, way up there, okay? They have incredible photographs and images from Pluto now because they've managed to send these space satellites way out to the edge of our solar system. It's mind-boggling. To me, it's just mind-boggling. Incredible photographs of Uranus and Neptune. Mind-boggling. Absolutely unimaginable, 5, 10, 15 years ago. They know all about the rest of it. So there we go. There's the Sun. Okay. There's little Mercury. There's Venus. There's Earth. There's Mars. Now, these are all rocks. These are heavy, dense, material, physical rock planets. Okay? Then we start to get into the gas planets. Over here, Jupiter is a huge gas planet. Again, this picture is not to scale. Jupiter would be much bigger. Saturn is a gas planet. Neptune is a gas planet. Uranus is a gas planet. Neptune's a gas planet. And little tiny Pluto is a rock. There it is. So we're going to get a conjunction between Pluto and the Sun. It's a very powerful conjunction. Anybody in astrology, if you're born with Pluto conjunct Sun, it's a very powerful conjunction alignment to have in your chart. One of the difficulties is that it's like it's so much power. It can be extremely difficult to control. It's like let's say, like going back to cars. I like cars, okay? And I've done a lot of work on cars and engines, and I sort of have an understanding. So when you have Sun conjunct Pluto, it's like being born with like a dragster. Like it's built for extreme power, extreme expression of power, rather than driving around like a Honda Civic or a Toyota Camry or a Ford Explorer or something like that, which is built for, puttering around in America and living in the suburbs or whatever. But when you get Sun conjoined Pluto, it's like having a dragster. So when you put your foot on the throttle, it's kaboom. Okay? And then how do you stop that energy? It's very hard to control that energy. Once you ignite the throttle, it's more like a switch. You just take your foot off. So it's on, off, extreme power or not extreme power. So it's highly subjective. It's highly subject to the other astrology in your chart. How does that energy get expressed? Sun conjunct Pluto can mean someone who's extremely powerful. They could be extremely abusive with their power, or they could be extremely benevolent with their power. Either way, it's very hard to control. So you would be looking for things like sextiles and trines to support that power and make it smooth and gentle. If it was heavily conflicted with lots of, squares and oppositions, it would be a very, very hard energy to control. Anyone with a conflicted Pluto in their chart understands this. Anyway, I just had to get that out there. So, yeah. I got to check the notes here. That looks... Wait, she's a Sikh Indian. Interesting. I didn't know that. Wow. Democrats don't believe in democracy anymore. That's true. They're basically communist thugs. Republicans are the new Democrats, correct. Democrats used to be all about democracy. Basically, democracy is mob rule, one hand, one vote. If everybody wants this, that's what you do. If everybody wants that, that's what you do. Please, thank you, Fluffles. I agree with you, Tina. It's where you're saying here you're not a fan of large groups with rules that determine how you think or look or act, or whether it doesn't matter exactly. Democrats, Republicans, it doesn't matter. What counts? What the thing? Here's the thing. In the end, it really isn't about Democrats and Republicans. It's about the Constitution. It's about rule of law. And in order for America to flourish, it was defined very, very early on. This is not going to work if people make a decision to subvert the Constitution. The Constitution only works when you have people who are loving, committed, full of integrity, honesty, truth, faith, love, and the understanding that there is a higher power above them. Okay? In other words, they are not God themselves in the form of like a dictator. Okay? And the founders knew that this would be contested, because as soon as you set up a structure like we have in America with the Constitution, this thing here, where the people who are in power are elected and they are employed by we the people, on the understanding that we the people, we're not stupid. We're not just a bunch of, what? We're not stupid. We know exactly what's going on. We know what works. We know what we want. We want respect of faith, family, freedom, a rule of law, the ability to protect and defend yourself, the ability to speak your mind, your heart, and your soul without adverse, without punishment. So you can be whoever you want. Okay? So long as you don't break the law. And the laws are designed to maintain freedom, respect for property rights, respect for family, respect. It's basically rule of law with a purpose and a meaning. And we have that. And it works incredibly well when it works. But the people who get elected into power figured out very, very, very quickly, really pretty early on, within the first 100 years of this country, that once they get a taste for power and money and control, they don't want to give it up. They don't like being elected for a few years and then being told, well, you've done your service to the community, thanks, step down now, we're going to replace you because we don't want you to get entrenched. And, we don't want you to fall in love with all your power and money and control. You are an employee of the people. So kindly step down while we elect your replacement. Thank you very much. That is no longer acceptable to the elites. As far as the elites are concerned, they are gods. And they have subverted the Constitution 99%. The Constitution is almost 99% dead. But the founders knew that that would happen. And they built it in such a way that even if you've got just 1% remaining, it's still the Constitution. It is still the law of the land. So that's where we are right now. It's very scary, very, very exciting all at the same time. So back to the chart. With this compression of energy, I'm not going to list all the planets, but it's like, if you look, this is a crazy chart. Just imagine if you had all the planets lined up like this. This would be a massive conjunction. I don't know if it's ever actually happened in history, but possible. But we're looking at all these planets compressing towards Capricorn and ultimately towards the 29-degree Capricorn mark. They will go through as a transition, okay, but the pressure is building up. January 20, 21, 2022. Those are the dates, okay? So just hold on. For most people, it'll just be another day in the life, get in America, you would do things like get in your car, go to a job, go to grocery shopping, cook some food, hang out with friends and family, do your stuff, whatever it is. Be happy, be sad, be sick, be well, whatever it is, whether you're young or old, doesn't matter. But for some people like us here, I like to think most of us here are pretty awake. We can see what's actually going on as opposed to what we're being told is going on, okay? There's a humongous difference, so please be aware of that. I'm not going to try and preach here. You know damn well what's going on, okay? Anyway, let's have a look at this. Fluffles sending... Oh, thank you, Fluffles. I need to go back over here a second. All right. So, I guess it's time to brace yourself for turbulence. I don't know if you saw that thing about that Boeing 737 that kind of blew up into flames in Japan. And they had videos from inside the plane. And the Japanese passengers were extremely calm. They trusted and believed in the crew and the pilots, basically telling them, we have about 90 seconds to get out of here and do this properly. So please behave, everybody. And so they all behaved and they followed their instructions exactly. And I think there were a couple of people injured, but pretty much everybody got out of the plane properly. Now, in other places with different attitudes and different cultures, pretty much everyone would have died, okay? So, we can create our own reality. Behavior can be chosen, we can be conditioned, and we can deliberately choose to be loving, okay? So, at the moment, with this big fat trine, sextile going on between Neptune and Uranus, a lot of the really perverse, sick stuff that's going on in Washington, D.C. with the administration, they're getting away with it. It's like they're getting a smooth ride through something that's actually very, very, very disturbing. And again, you're not going to see too much of this on the mainstream media because they're in total denial because they have to be. They cannot allow the average American to see how bad things really are here because it's absolutely catastrophic. We've got this mind-boggling invasion happening over here. It's all by design to allow millions of aliens to come into this country, and a lot of them are going to act as sleeper cells, all paid for and designed by the swarm. Let's call it the swarm, the elites, the global elite swarm, in order to take down America. That's the plan. They're looking at a plan right now to revolutionize America. It's an evil revolution. Sadly, in America, there's an evil revolution building up here, live, real time, to destroy this place. That is the ultimate goal of the swarm, is to destroy this place, because this is the last remaining bastion of freedom in the world. Everywhere else is compromised. Everywhere else is compromised. Okay? India still has a lot of freedom, but they also have a lot of problems. Heavily compromised. Heavily compromised. Okay? We still have our Constitution. It's not dead yet. We're not dead yet. But they're trying to kill us. They, the swarm, the global elites, are doing everything in their power to destroy this green blob. Okay? So what can you do? What can we do? Well, if you want to watch a prepper channel on YouTube, for example, stock up on food while you can. Like today, for example, I'll just give you an idea. Okay, I'm just going to give you an idea over here. Over here, there are about, 10 gasoline tanks. Spare gasoline tanks loaded up, full. Okay? There are, I'm not going to put a dollar amount on it, but a huge amount of long-term prepper food stored. Okay? In the process, also building up massive reserves of water. Okay? Storage containers for water, enormous storage containers for water, and pumps and filtration systems. Okay? Food and water. Okay? You also need power. Over here, there are 4 separate power sources. There's a huge traditional gasoline inverter generator, like 3,000 watts. There's a huge electric battery generator, 2,000 watts. There's a baby battery generator, solar. And there's another baby and another baby solar, all there to do backup. And there's also a heavy-duty car charger battery support system for the car. I'm trying to think, what else have I missed? Oh, self-defense. I'm not going to talk about it on this channel. There are plenty of channels that talk very openly about self-defense, but on my channel it's a very dangerous topic. Esther, they want to destroy what? No, they don't want to destroy the earth. They want to destroy America. They want to destroy the Constitution. They, the swarm, the global elites, they want to destroy the Constitution. They want to institute tyranny. They want to institute the tyranny through the CBDC, the Central Banking Digital Currency System. It's basically hyper communism done through your phone and your financial institutions, your cards. Okay? It's a form of tyranny, a form of imprisonment, just like they have in China. It's extremely effective. And it's all digital. Okay? They don't want to destroy the land. Who are they? Can I give names? Well, I actually did a whole video on it, okay? It's back in the TarotLumination archives. You'd probably have to go... Most of these videos I do are live, but the video I made about who are they might have been a pre-recorded video. I can't remember, but it's there. It's in the archives. And I go through very, very extensively who they are. Right now, I'm just going to call it they, the swarm. It's a conglomeration of all the top, like 12 to 15 global corporate conglomerates, okay? Corporations that do everything. Oil, gas, food, transportation, communications, technology. All of them, okay? Then there's the media, okay? Then there are the banks, the global banking system, okay? And then there are the political pyramidal structures. At the top, you have like the United Nations, the World Health Organization, International Monetary Fund, the World Bank, the United States Federal Reserve Bank, and the Global Federal Reserve Banking System, which is all controlled by basically the United States, and the American Treasury. Okay? And then the banking, the big money itself. Blackstone, BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street, and all the big hedge funds and the stock market. In a nutshell, that's who they are. And there are secondary levels of who they are around the world in different countries, but they all ultimately answer to the ones that I described, okay? Yeah, there's a list. They. Let's just call them they. The anonymous, intangible. They're the untouchables. They're not elected. They're not in politics. Okay? They're not elected. But they own and control the world. The World Economic Forum. That's a classic example. If you really want to scare the poop out of yourself, go to the World Economic Forum online and do your homework. And you will discover the terrifying agendas that they have. The popular agendas, COP28, Agenda 2030, Agenda 2050, 15-minute cities. All these are like colloquial catchphrases for the globalized, tyrannical, communist regime that they want to impose on the world, the whole world. Another part of the agenda is massive depopulation, taking us from 8 billion down to like 1 or 2 billion, something like that. It's difficult to do. It's difficult. I mean, they've already tried it with the corona bug, you know, the beer bug, in March 2020. But we already know that. Love Triber sent me some terrifying information today about Moderna. You remember Moderna? They make all these vaccines. It's a huge global big pharma operation. Moderna signed an agreement with the United States federal government basically to share the intellectual property rights and value of their intellectual property rights regarding the particular vaccine that everybody knows, and how it is designed to kill. The main purpose, I mean, yeah, you have to do a lot of your own homework here, but the main purpose is money, power, and control at the expense of we the people. There's 8 billion people. They have no conscience, no qualms at all about killing off 1, 2, 3 billion, 4 billion people so that they can make a lot of money and simultaneously depopulate the planet and restructure everything for the elites. Okay? It didn't work very well. And I mean, there was a few million people who died because of the bug and a few million people who were killed because of the treatment for the bug. But that's nothing. Nothing. China alone has 1.4 billion people. That's 4.5 Chinese for every American. There you go. And that's just China. Anyway. Yeah. So the way we feel it, hold on, I got to switch off the phone. Give me a second. Oh, hold on, I got to go over here. Excuse me. All right, so took care of that. Oh dear, oh dear. Where were we? Oh yeah. It's an amazing thing. I mean, I as you probably know, some of you who've been here for years with this channel know that I started off doing lots of, traditional things that they do on YouTube tarot channels. I started 7 years ago, 45 videos per month, about 45 videos per month, 24 videos, 12 videos for each sign for this, 12 videos for each sign for that, and then plus all the astrology for each sign for that and the astrology. So it was a lot of content. And then everything kind of exploded, fell apart in November 2018. And we've been morphing. And in recent years, most recently, I've been obsessed, as you can tell, with Pluto and the big transition to the Aquarius, the age of Aquarius. Okay, so this is probably the biggest deal of my lifetime. That's why I think about it all the time. It just goes through me inside all day, every day. I'm not, all I know is just like, it's very important for myself personally to study these things so I was not affected, because I have a highly conflicted chart. It's very hard for me to manage my energy, okay? Fluffle says, my dear friend who was super, super fit, age 52, got the bug and went to the ER and they gave him triple dose of codeine and immediately killed him. Okay? TL, can I go in second, please? Yes, you can. Okay? I Love Tarot. Hello, I Love Tarot. Hey, everyone. I don't know if you all remember me. My channel used to be called Ubastis Poor. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. You know who Ubastis Poor is? Does anybody remember the other name for Ubastis Pur? Ha 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 ha, welcome. Oh my God. It's been a while, hasn't it? And you do your own readings, you do your own shows and everything now, don't you? Ubastis Pur. I'm blanking out here, Ubasti. Please fill us in, do the full, disclosure. Because we used to talk about you by your real name and then also by your original screen name channel. And then, you don't have to, but, you haven't been here for years. Oh my God! Yeah, you were kind of one of those vibrant life and soul of the party people. Always stirring things up, always having some very interesting stories. Okay. Yeah. Yes. So yeah, here's the thing that Love Triber sent to me today. I get all sorts of stuff that she sends me. One of them today was how the United States federal government, deep inside with the DHS, signed an agreement with Moderna to share the intellectual property. In other words, the government owns the intellectual property rights to the bug and to the cure. Does anybody sense a conflict of interest here? Huh? In other words, it's good old-fashioned. You create the problem, you wait for a while, and then you provide the cure. Money, money, money. Money, money, money. Yeah. What were some of the other crazy things I learned today? Oh, it's just off the charts. We all know that the Ukraine war is falling to pieces because it's all linked to America. And the federal government in America is at a standstill because of the budget. And it's a standstill because of the budget, because of the border crisis. In other words, the budget's not... Anyway, it's just your typical political crackpot behavior. I've tried to reach you a few times, Elizabeth, but I didn't get anything. I assumed you were very busy with your parties and your friends over the holiday. So, yeah, what were some of the other things? I mean, it's almost like, it's, what do they call it? Normalized? All the Epstein files, everybody's heard about that. A lot of that is just legal documentation of who went where, who what, but there's no slimy dirt, okay? We all know, if you go to places like Alex Jones or, what's his name? Blaze TV, or all these folks who were previously considered conspiracy theorists, and now it's all facts proven laws in courts. If you go to Tucker Carlson, you go to General retired MacArthur, you go to there's so much stuff that is being outed. Oh, you were very ill. I'm so sorry. Okay. Anyway, glad you're better. Welcome to the show. Hang out with us. Soak up some of the love. So, yeah, there's some scary stuff going on. And it's the worst of the worst that you can possibly imagine. I've been reading reports that the FBI and the CIA here in America have other versions of Jeffrey Epstein, who are already operating in a very kind of clandestine way in the background, because they knew that Mr. Epstein would ultimately have a shelf life that would expire, and his usefulness would be in jeopardy. And so they have to keep the system going. The system is there to protect the elites. And the elites are all subscribed to this. A lot of them are involved in these very, very, very sick, perverse, evil activities, which give them intense pleasure. And they feel that they are bestowed with amazing godlike powers. And it's the epitome of evil. And so you can't have that known to the general public. And so it's all kept in the vaults using blackmail. And the ultimate blackmail, of course, is the Pluto energy of sexuality, sex, power, and money. And they're all interlinked. Okay? So... Anyway, we should really just get on with the readings. I'm so sorry. I get all fired up by so many different aspects of what's going on in the world. I'm waiting to see what happens with Argentina. Because if you want rebellion and revolution, they are doing it big time. Same thing with Ecuador. So not Ecuador, I mean El Salvador and Bitcoin. So I don't know what's going to happen. I did on the show that I did the other night, last night. I couldn't help it. I had to do it. I was illustrating on Conflict Tracker. All these wars. Lots and lots of wars. Tribal wars going on over here. Lots of wars over here in the Middle East. Lots of war here on Eastern Europe. It's interesting because this is almost permanent warfare for thousands of years. Same with this area here. Same with this area here. Now, over here, it's very different because we've had war, but most of the wars were exported, external, and we've had tremendous relative peace and tranquility in this place here compared to a lot of places. Yes, we still have a lot of internal conflict because at the human level, because we have a constitution where you have the freedom to be who you are and want to be. If you want to be a hardcore gangbanger criminal, you can do that. But you have to be prepared to accept the consequences. And so people do. And so we have a very large prison population, and it really should be a lot bigger. But there you go. Okay. So, yeah, let's, I should just get on with the reading, shouldn't I? All right, so Fluffles, I already got your notes. We're going to... Wait a minute, did you say you wanted someone else to start first? Hold on, I got to check the notes here. Okay, hold on, Fluffles. Oh yeah, Fluffles, I wanted to say something else over here. Okay, in the world where I live now, I learn things in a different way. Things are the way they are. Okay, that's how it is. But I've learned, like through 1 degree of separation, well, probably at least 5 people have died in the last year and a half, directly because of the bug and the treatment of the bug. And one of the dear friends of Love Triber just had some of the classic symptoms. The woman went into the hospital for a broken leg because she fell over. When she was in the hospital, she was treated, and this woman happens to be triple vaccinated. So, lo and behold, while the poor woman was being treated, and she was, in a very weak condition, they discovered all these clots in the lungs. And so they had to make the woman sit upright, and they had to, I don't know if they did it when she was conscious or unconscious, but they had to go in and they pulled out these clots. Okay? Clots are sort of like, they're like pasta. They're sort of like these rubbery, gloopy things. And this stuff has only really existed ever since the, the needle thing that they stick in you, full of chemicals that are designed to kill you. Anyway, I got to go through the chat here because I know that Fluffle said, somebody said, can you please do me later, read me later? Where am I? All right, so I don't know what to do. Can somebody please type in? I've got 2 readings lined up for the evening, okay? Hello, Melanie. Just dropped by. Hello. Hello from Canada. We have Elizabeth Boucher here this evening. She's from Canada. She's the writer. She's been writing her screenplay. She's got a couple of screenplays finished. And she's finished her first book and on the way to her second book. I've been talking with her for a long time. Eventually we have to get her on this show. And it'll have to be like a pre-recorded video and we can share, okay? Not me first. Okay, so we'll do Fluffles first. Okay, we're going to do Fluffles first and then we're going to do Tina, all right? So there you go. All right, everybody, brace yourselves. Put on your seat belts. Tighten everything up. You might want to sit with your hands under your lap. Get a refreshment, a glass of water or something. Because you never know what's going to happen. I'm going to put all this stuff aside. And you're going to have to give me a few moments to set up and get the cards and all of that kind of stuff. All right, so here we go. First up is Fluffles. Tina, you're up next. Now I have to get a glass of tea. I need a little cup of tea here. I'm going to put the markers away. And we're going to put, oh, I didn't do that properly, did I? Hold on, stay with me. All right, I'm just going to put this over here. And put this over here, clear the decks. Okay, we might need to reference this. I'm not sure at this time. We really don't know until we actually do the readings. Okay? Oh, I have to say, by the way, I'm very, very proud because, as you know, I've been burning out very easily these days. And I can only really handle like 2 or 3 readings per show. But the other night, we got kind of overbooked. And so I ended up doing 2 mini readings during the week, just like we do here. And I recorded them. They were blind readings, and they went off to the clients. And I got the replies from the clients, and it went extremely well. So if anyone's interested in that kind of thing, like if they are not here on Sunday nights, but they still want a little mini reading, I can do that. You just do the donation thing, okay? No, you don't have to do another one. It just went very well. I was so proud. I mean, I got some wonderful feedback. All right, so please bear with me. I just need a little top up here, so bear with me. I'll leave you with our beautiful galaxy for a moment. Oh, it wasn't just you, Esther. I had a couple more. It was wonderful. All right, I'm going to go get some refreshment. Hi, Diana. All right. Fluffles, you're up. Fluffle, hold on. Okay, I gotta. Okay, so let me. I'm almost there. I'm almost ready. Almost. Give me a second, folks. I still got to do some, operational tasks here to get things organized properly. Let's have a look. Okay, so that's parts. Okay, I'm just checking all the softwares because I'm just flying like a little solo pilot. Doing this show, it's kind of like trying to fly a little small airplane. You're getting a commercial every 3 minutes? Wow, really? Well, the thing is. Okay, here's how it is. So I'll be right there. Give me a second, Fluffles. The channel is effectively demonetized because the view counts are heavily restricted. And there's no chance to even reach hardly close to the threshold in order to collect the revenue. So, but YouTube reserves the right to use my channel or any channel for advertising purposes from which they collect revenue, but zero comes here. Zero, a big fat zero comes here. It didn't used to be that way. Okay, I've told you this story many times. I don't want to get into it. It's just too painful and nauseating. But yeah, I'm sorry. Even if I demonetize the channel. Everything's automated now on YouTube. They had a huge change just literally a few weeks ago, about 3 or 4 weeks ago, where it's basically I don't have any control over the advertising or the monetizing at all. In other words, they monetize and advertise whatever they want, however they want, and the viewers are basically, you just have to suck it up. The only way you can, I guess, remove advertising, I don't think you can remove advertising, frankly, okay? Yeah, okay. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. YouTube is its own thing. It's an incredibly powerful, incredibly effective platform for the people who are ordained, selected, blessed. Those are the blessed channels. This channel is only allowed to exist by, out of, I guess, I don't know why they let me even exist here anymore, but they do, okay? It doesn't matter, Fluffles, it doesn't matter about me starting a new channel. I've already gone through all that stuff with YouTube management and control systems. They made it very, very clear. There's no point in me starting another channel. I could, but it won't be this at all. It wouldn't be this at all. Nothing like this. I can't just take this channel and start the same thing on another platform, on another channel in YouTube, because they won't allow it. They know who I am. They know exactly what I'm doing. They track everything, okay? Okay? Yeah, the best thing to do is you got to just skip. There's nothing you can do here. Very few people I know can afford all the subscriptions that are being demanded these days. If you want to go commercial free on YouTube, you have to pay a subscription. I don't know what it is. I can't afford any prescription, so I don't. Okay? Tina, you pay $10 a month to have no commercials. Wow, okay, wow. Yeah, it's funny, Fluffles. The same thing happened. I had TikTok. I loved my TikTok, and I knew it's a Chinese data collection bot. That's what it is. It's extremely seductive algorithms. It's like the Las Vegas casinos. It's designed to suck you in, and once they've identified your nature, then they feed you everything that you could possibly want without thinking. So it makes you feel really, really good. It's hyper addictive, hyper effective, but of course it's also, let's say, managed or censored. And I started doing things on there that I do here. I started speaking freely and openly, and I kept getting notifications, warnings, and shutdowns and deletions. And they eventually said, you know what? You're done. Get out of here. You cannot have a TikTok account. Doesn't matter what emails you use. We know who you are, where you are. You won't be allowed to set up parallel alternate accounts. Bye-bye. So there you go. If I was a really super smart techie, I could probably find a way around it, but, anyway. All right, let's get on with the work, folks. We got work to do here. Fluffles. Okay, so everybody, it's a wonderful thing, Fluffles, that you're willing to trust your readings in a public situation like this, because it actually, I don't know what it is. Every now and again, somebody writes in and says, "Oh my God, that reading applies to me too," Well, Tina would know. Tina is an ER. Tina is super highly qualified, so she would know. Huh. Jerry Shockmo. Greetings. You're a double Leo with Mercury in Cancer. Awkward. Okay. Well, welcome. Welcome, Jerry. United States is born with Mercury in Cancer at around 24 degrees, 27 degrees, I think. All right, Fluffles. So here's some background, people. Fluffles has booked me to do a reading, and the reading concerns, I guess, employment, how to best use her skills, because she's considering a situation now where she may be effectively self-employed, but still in a kind of protected situation where it's sort of like being employed as well, but as a subcontractor where you have to do your own 1099 tax forms, you know. So it's kind of a nice... Oh, we got more people. Here was it. Andre Santos from Portugal. Oh, wow, that's so cool. Hold on, Fluffles. I'm not sure if I've ever had someone from Portugal before. There we go. Hello, Andre. It must be very late at night or early in the morning over there. There's Portugal. Some of you might know the channel. It's an English-speaking channel called Redacted. They do with a lot of news, global news on very controversial stuff. Welcome. Right now, Andre, the way I'll just show you, Andre. The way it works is that it's everything's by donation, and I'll show you just very quickly. Here we are. Okay, Jerry, since you're in Texas, different time zone. Andre, you're in Portugal, different time zone. But what people do here is they go to TarotLumination.com and they donate money to get a live mini reading. There's other things you can do, but tonight on Sunday nights, every Sunday night, we gather around and we do a handful of live mini readings, and it's all done by donation. So you can go on another device, go to TarotLumination.com, put in like $10, $20 or whatever it is that people usually do, and you get a mini reading. We schedule it. I can also do them during the week if you want, okay? All right, let's have a look here. Okay, let's get back to Fluffles. Sorry about all the delays. All right, Fluffles is saying here in the notes here, yeah, I miss Lina too. Lina from Argentina. Fluffles saying, I just need to see if I stay with the broker I'm with now or go back to my old employer who's also a broker. This is a big decision. Need to see how it would look and if it would be successful for me. Okay, I already got your notes, Fluffles. Well, let's just see what the notes say, okay? Let's just see what the notes come up with, okay? That's actually a kind of a big deal. Of course we want it to be lucrative. It's about work, money, business. It has to work. Don't look at the cards that just fell out of my hands, okay? I don't do jumpers, flyers, or anything like that. I just do very, very straightforward, the TarotLumination situational spread. Okay? Of course it has to work. It has to work financially. You can't live as a charity unless you're born as a trust fund baby. All right, let's have a look. So I'm going to keep it in a very simplified. What I do is I distill the questions and the concept down to the bare bone minimum. And how I would do it is this. What messages do we have here tonight for Fluffles regarding the situation between different brokers, okay? The current situation or the possible new situation that was a previous situation. So Fluffles needs to make a decision, okay? Decision, okay? Oh my God, I'm sorry. I'm very clumsy tonight. I don't know why. I need to shuffle a bit more. Please bear with me. All right, here we go. Okay, so let's bless this deck, bless every single card, bless everybody here for hanging out tonight and giving me a sense of purpose and meaning. I love you guys, seriously. I was talking the other night, like, what would happen to me without my channel? I don't know, I'd be almost terrified. I know I complain a lot, but really I love my little channel and I love our little community. All right, let's have a look. So, Fluffles, what messages do we have here for you tonight regarding the work situation, okay? Your notes are very clear on the screen, so we can see all that. You might want to keep us active as we go through the reading. Here we go. This is the TarotLumination situational spread. It's basically a diagnostic tool. Let's have a look here. Just like going to the hospital or the auto tech shop, you gotta find out what the problem is before you can fix it. In other words, in terms of this channel, you gotta reveal it to heal it. Okay, here we go. Here's the situation, here's the challenges, and here's how we're gonna handle it. Now, we got external influences, of course. We're at a time of compression, I talked about earlier, and we're heading to a point of critical mass, a major global tipping point for the whole of Earth. I don't know if it's going to apply to your work situation, but it's there. The energy's there. Let's have a look. So we've got Ace of Swords, an excellent omen for new starts and new beginnings. And it's very much to do with the concept of, I'm sure you understand this, Fluffles, thoughts are things. Have you ever heard that expression? Thoughts are things. Have you ever heard of this expression? You are what you think, having become what you thought. Okay? In other words, it's like manifesting your reality through thinking. It's almost like conditioning. Also, Fluffles, another thing is that we've got a huge compression up here in Capricorn energy. So there's a strong emphasis globally on the theme of career, achievement, ambition, purpose, the maximum level of excellence in terms of expression, business, management, execution, leadership, success, okay? So it doesn't matter what your sign is or anything like that. On a global scale, there's a powerful emphasis on career, money, success, all right? So let's have a look. And the gateway is right there, okay? But a lot of it is attitude of mind. So before I even go into the reading, Fluffles, I want to share, okay? So those little bumper stickers I just mentioned, they're things that I've heard. I thought I'd share them because it can be that way. With enough conditioning, you do become what you think. You know, if people keep telling you, oh, vote Democrat, oh, okay. And so on and so on. Vote Republican, vote Republican, vote Republican, oh, the world is going to end, the world's going to end, the world's going to end. Anyway, some people don't do that. Some people think their own thoughts. They make their own thoughts, their own decisions, using facts, using information, using their own intellect, and being willing to think. I've been talking to Love Triber a lot about this. What I've noticed in my life is that a lot of people don't want to think. If you've noticed, thinking actually uses up huge amounts of energy in the brain, okay? The people I know who do a lot of thinking, when I was a kid, they consumed enormous amounts of caffeine and sugar, like Coca-Cola with candy bars. And then they could write all their physics formulas and their essays because they're loaded up on thinking juice. But then they crash, okay? Other people are built differently. But a lot of people don't want to think. They want thoughts to be thought for them, and they want to be told what to do. This is an opportunity right now for you to make your own decisions. If both opportunities are available to you, it's very, very important that you use pure rational reason to think your way through this to get to the conclusion that you need to reach so that you can make a decision in case you are the ultimate decider in this situation, as opposed to one employer or another opportunity or the other opportunity. Okay? So, let's have a look. What's the situation itself? Okay, 9 of Cups. Okay, so it's like the situation itself, it's very, very important that it's not just about the money. Obviously, at the core, the money side has to work. But it has to work in such a way that you are fundamentally happy. In other words, if you opt for situation A, because it has the theoretical potential to make a little bit more money, but you know you're not going to have as much fun, you got to admit that to yourself. If you can see opposite situation B, where you think, oh my God, I'd have so much more fun over there doing this or that, and I don't know, I may or may not make so much money, I don't really know, but I know I'd be more happy. It's very, very important that you satisfy your natural desire and natural right to be happy at the very core. In other words, make the right decision. And the right decision includes feeling happy, as opposed to feeling like, ugh, I'm just doing this for the money. Ugh. Ugh. Okay, let's have a look. Now, what's the challenge here? Okay, everybody, Fluffles is putting up a lot of notes, okay? Let's have a look. What's the challenges here? We've got the Tower. Okay, so with the Tower, you might be absolutely quaking inside. Oh my God, what happens if I make the wrong decision? Oh my God, it'll be a catastrophe. No. Okay, that's just fear. Okay. Fear is false evidence appearing real. Think about it. Okay? You might be scaring yourself unnecessarily. Deep down, Fluffles, you may already know what you want to do. You already have a decision, but you're just still working through the process of decision making. A lot of the times in the process of decision making, you have to tease it through. Like, why would I do this as opposed to that? Oh, and then think it through. Oh, well, now I thought that through. I realized, like, oh, I can't do this because that would, ruin that. And then you go through lots and lots of layers of decision making, yes to no, yes to no, no to yes, to eventually reach a final yes or a no at the final decision. So with the Tower card here, it makes me feel that you're potentially terrified of making a change in such a way that, oh my God, what if I make the wrong change? It could be catastrophic. Well, it sounds to me personally that you do have two options. But we're going through the refining process of getting the option that works for you in such a way that you're not operating purely to simply make as much cash as possible as fast as possible. It's much more about being in the right environment with the right people at the right place at the right time so that you can be your most optimal self. In other words, you won't be able to do what has to be done unless you're happy on the inside. So it's an understandable fear. So how are we going to move forward? Okay. Let's have a look. Here's the situation. Okay, so I've got the Knight of Wands here. There's something I have to mention here. I don't like to personify these things too much. But with the Knight of Wands energy here as indicating how to deal with this, how to go forward, it might be very important if these two situations involve a senior male. In other words, situation A means you're going to be working with a senior male over here. Situation B means with a senior male over here. And there's pros and cons for each side. it might be an idea to, this is going to sound a little bit strange, but perhaps tap into your feminine powers, your fluffy fluffle self, and if you could this is going to sound very callous. Please don't judge me, okay? Please don't judge me for saying this, Fluffles, but it might be an idea to just tease this out for a little bit longer before you make a decision. Allow and understand that we're going through a lot of compression at the moment, astrologically, and then we're going to reach a tipping point. And I've tried to predict what that looks like, but it's mostly revolution, upheaval, and highly unpredictable energies. In other words, somebody expects this and it turns out to be that. Somebody expects that and it turns out to be this. Okay, so what I'm sensing with the Knight of Wands for you is that it might be an idea to take your time on the decision making. Maintain a very, very clear intellectual precision observation of yourself as you go through this process. Acknowledge that your personal happiness is extremely important to the final decision. And you have to feel happy and like how you're almost like it's almost like you have to feel like you're having fun with the people that you're going to be working with, if it's this one or that one. And so what I'm sensing is like with the Knight of Wands, of course, be your most courageous self, but also it might be an idea to sense like, I'm not talking about relationship energy, but it is a masculine feminine energy from what I can tell. It might be an idea to give yourself the freedom of a little bit of time, not rushing into it, and allow for one of these characters to perhaps come forward towards you and to see if they're indicating any kind of energy that would be like pretend I'm acting right now, okay, Fluffles, like, Fluffles, it would be so much fun to make, like, work together. Or it would be like, Fluffles, I know we haven't worked together before, but I think it would be a lot of fun. We could actually prosper together. Or whatever version of that. But it makes me feel like it would be important for part of the happiness. There has to be a little bit of harmony between the masculine feminine energy. And so if you're sensing that some of the masculine energy coming at you, which is inevitable in that kind of situation, if it's coming at you in like a positive, encouraging type of manner, like they're feeling like, oh, it would be so cool to have you on my team, or to have you in the place with us, and we'll figure it out. But mostly it's not, in other words, because some people have really miserable experiences in the workplace, and it doesn't have to be that way. So if you can somehow very, very, very subtly, very almost secretly, privately, even perhaps nurture a situation, or perhaps tease or flirt enough, very, very subtly, to see the male behavior, how it comes at you. If one of them is like, okay, this could work, it's just going to be like, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, you got to do that, you got to do this, you got to do this, I need to see you here, that, or the other perhaps more appropriate would be like, I don't know, it's like the whole world is falling apart, this business is wacko. It would be so much more fun if you were here and we could do this and that. That's what I'm sensing here with the Knight of Wands, okay? I don't know if that makes sense to you, Fluffles, but I think it's very, very important part of the decision making, okay? Don't be scared. Put yourself in a position of intellectual supremacy, okay? And allow things to unfold. Allow the situation to come to you a little bit more. You don't have to chase anything here. Allow it to come to you. allow the situation to come to you in whichever feels best, makes you feel like you're going to be most happy in situation A or B, then that's where you go, okay? All right, let's have a look. Well, we seem to have a very lively, active chat here this evening. Good evening, Jerry. I know one move, but I'm a double Leo, Jerry. What's going on here? Oh, all right. All right. Fluffles, thank you so much. I hope this reading made sense to you. You may not have thought about your situation in the way that I described it here, or the messages the way they came out here. But again, that's why we do this stuff here. Okay? All right, so we're going to shuffle up, and then we're going to read for Tina. Tina is probably busy somewhere with the dogs. I'm not sure. But anyway, let's put a shout out. Tina, you're up. Okay? We're going to have a few moments here to shuffle things. Okay? Okie dokie. Oh, give me a second here. Hold on. Oh, why am I having troubles? Why am I having so many problems? Well, I'm not having a lot of problems. I'm just struggling with the technology. Give me a second here. Check something. Okay. Oh, hold on. What's that? I love tarot. Oh, okay. Hold on. Give me a second. I'm gonna do all my technology stuff here. Right. Okay, all right. So I'm almost there. Tina, I see that you are here. All right, thank you. All right. So we got another booking, and that's it for tonight, folks. Everyone else, you can chat amongst yourselves. But for the time being, this is it for tonight. We've got one more booking from I Love Tarot. There we go. Thank you so much. There's your magic post-it note. Remember the old days? Wow. Wow. All right, so Tina, here we go. Oh, boy. Okay. General, you got it, Tina. No worries. Let's bless this deck. Bless every single card. Let's invite our visible friends. Make sure we're all tidy and close by. Everybody, please imagine you're at a beautiful, beautiful retreat somewhere. The weather is really lovely. It's a nice evening. The bonfire, campfire is roaring. We've all had a wonderful evening together. And we've got all of us, each of us, our invisible friends, huddled up really close and tight. So it's just awesome. I don't have my paintings here. I've had to say goodbye to a lot of my art and my paintings, but I might have some digital copies. I'll put that up one day. About the retreat and the campfires. Oh, wait a minute. I've got something I can share with you. Hold on. Give me a second. Oh, that's not a very good... Anyway, it's sort of like a... Give me a second. Stay there, Tina. I just want to share something. See if I can do this. Stay there, Tina. I'll be right with you. I just want to share something. This is for everybody. I don't know if this will work, but can you? It's difficult to show. It's not showing up very well. I'd have to do this another way. I'm sorry. It's the lighting and the cameras. Sorry. But anyway. All right, Tina. This is it. Let's. So I hope you're sitting comfortably, or you're having a nice evening at home, or your place. Cause wait a minute. Have you moved yet? Because you were going to do a lot of remodeling, weren't you? Something like that? I can't remember the details. I don't take, honestly, Tina, I don't take the jumpers. Sometimes they disturb me, they scare me, and they make me upset. It makes me feel like I'm a useless shuffler. That's why I don't like them. And some people attribute meaning, and I've learned over the years that I don't like it. Don't like it. I don't do reversals. I don't do jumpers. Anything like that. Okay? I like the cards to be pristine. I like the shuffle to be pristine. The deck to be pristine. I mean, this is an old deck. I use it a lot, but it's effectively still like brand new. All right, Tina, here we go. So what kind of messages do we have here for Tina tonight? General reading, like she often does. Tina, you've shared a lot of stories in life with us here. Thank you. Let's see, here's the situation. Here's challenges, and here's how we're going to handle things. We're going to look at external influences. As you know, I often default to the planets, but we'll see. So we've got the moon here. Okay, so my feeling is that it's really, really, really important right now to default to your gut. Okay, I know it sounds strange why I'm saying this, but I've been learning a lot, and there's a reason why things come into conversation and to your, the headlines in your brain. Okay, like the full frontal vortex of consciousness. Things come and go. We have our intuition, we have our feelings, we have thoughts and dreams, and we have private internal worlds, and then we have the self that we present to the world, and then there's everything else in between. And so I try to allow for that. But when I just saw the moon card here for you, what I felt is that over the years that we've worked together, like you have this, you work through things in very kind of like logical, methodical ways. Okay, well, I'm going to do this, which leads to that, and then that leads to that, and then that leads to that. And you do things with a sense of meaning and purpose and integrity. And of course, a lot of those things are done, for most people, it's from the heart and the neck upwards. But I've been learning, because I did biology when I was a kid. I've been seeing things all over the internet that remind me about the gut. And there's a saying that I forgot about, that the gut is like your second brain. And just like the calf muscles on your leg apparently are like the second heart. And the thing about your gut is that it's somehow or other connected. Tina, you probably know all this anyway. The gut is connected to your primordial nervous system, the autonomic system, about survival. And so if you're living your life through the intellectual processes and your senses, your eyes, your nose, your ears, your mouth, your taste, your skin, your touch, your intellect, your conditioning, your thoughts, your beliefs, most of that is conducted from the neck upwards. But if you're in a situation like you're in a car park or something, and you're going to the grocery store, and then suddenly your gut tells you, like, oh, there's something wrong here, but you don't know what it is. Maybe your senses detected that there is a person way over here that is potentially dangerous. Something like that. Or you get something in the mail, or somebody comes up to you, a stranger, whatever it is. Your brain feels this, but your gut says, no, this is bad, 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 bad. And it's a lot of times people override their gut. I've done it plenty of times, and it has led to catastrophe. My brother, on the other hand, he trusts his gut implicitly. It's just part of his makeup, on the way he operates. Like, I don't trust that person. And he doesn't have to say it through the intellect. He knows in his gut. He trusts his gut with people in business. And so when I see this card for you, it's very, very important right now as we go through like this amazing period of transition, this amazing tipping point in astrological history. Whatever's going on in your life, Tina, with the health aspects, with the house, home improvements, longer term, look at the future, what does that look like? It's very, very important going forward to acknowledge what is your gut telling you. Because if it's out of alignment or way out of alignment with whatever's going on up here, that's a problem. And that's the point of the gut and the way it works. It'll tell you like, ooh, somehow or other, I don't know how it works, but it works. And it's very, that's what I'm sensing, okay? What I'm sensing here is that it's very, very important to acknowledge the gut, and it's fundamental to your survival, and it has meaning, it has purpose, and it's very, very important. And you don't have to be frightened of this, even though it's difficult perhaps to put it in words. And sometimes that happens when you trust your gut. Like, I can't put it in words. I just know that I have to do this. Or I know that I have to stop that. Or I know I can't go there. Or I know I have to go there. Whatever it is. It's very, very important over the next, I would say, it isn't just weeks. I'm thinking over the next, over the tipping point, okay? I'm just going to say it, okay? Over here. From where we are today, right now, all the way until the sun is well into Capricorn, Aquarius, okay, and beyond. Because February is going to be a monumental month with the astrology. We haven't even talked about it yet, but this period here over the next few months is going to change everything. The whole world is changing right in front of us, live, real time, okay? So as you go through this period, it's very, very important that you trust your gut at the deepest level of your animal instincts, okay? And you just said here, trauma holds in the gut. Oh, okay, all right. Okay, let's have a look at the situation itself. All right, so it looks like with the Lover's card here, you're still, it's funny, it's interesting, because this is very much about decision making, about what are the consequences of decisions. Do you form a relationship with this or that with this? Do you allow a situation to relate to you? Do you look at your life and your world and see that there are either opportunities or requirements or demands that are kind of forcing you to make some perhaps very big, very important life decisions? You know, it could be anything. I know you were talking about workplace situations recently, and that, you know, doing the veterinary work is no longer an option. Doing your traditional career is no longer an option. So what do you do now? That's big stuff. What now? What now? What now? So I think both of these cards are major arcana. And so the way I see it is this is kind of a big deal, and it might feel overwhelming because it might make you feel as like I'm out of control intellectually. But you're not really out of control, because you are still fully integrated as Tina Miller, and you have your gut. And deep down your soul knows damned well that you're going through a tipping point. All of us are. But this reading is saying very specifically that you're going through a transition point, a period of profound change and transition, which will require you to trust your gut in terms of making very important life decisions. Because a decision might take you to here, or it might take you to there. And in the world of purity of decisions, if you go there, then this becomes redundant. Or if you go there, then this becomes redundant. And a decision is not finalized until it's this or that. So a lot of times people don't understand the phenomenon of decision making. A lot of times people hold back, like, oh, I wish I could do a bit of that and maybe a bit of that, but I'm not sure. Then you have not made a decision. Okay? But you're at a point where decisions have to be made. And in order to make them, you can't just use intellect and logic and friends and family telling you, oh, Tina, you should do this, or Tina, you need to do that, or, well, I used to do this, and I used to do that, and I always wanted to do that. No, it's very important to trust the gut. Something somewhere deep inside of you, maybe it's not even fully defined yet, is looking to have expression in order to help you to make these big decisions. Okay? Let's have a look here. What's the challenges? There's always challenges. Okay. The challenges are, with the Seven of Cups, is that it's very, very easy to fool yourself, or allow yourself to be fooled by others, or to misinterpret or misread circumstances or messages or the energy surrounding you. And so it makes it even more important to lean and trust your gut as you make decisions. The last thing you want to do is rush any decisions. Jerry Shockmo mentioned period of adjustment. That's a good way to put it. Thank you. And another thing with the Seven of Cups here is that you might have a whole basket full of dreams and desires and wishes and wishful thinking and the hopes and dreams of what could be. And there's also the other part of it, which is like, oh, the coulda, woulda, shoulda, if only, if only, if only. And all of that is swirling around at the moment in a way that is, it's almost impossible to come to the decisions at the moment. All I'm suggesting here with the Lovers is that eventually some big decisions are going to have to be made. At the moment, it's perhaps it might be very, very difficult because there are so many things swirling around in terms of what your dreams could be and how they could manifest, as opposed to what does the physical reality look like? What does my bank account look like? What does the weather look like? What's the work situation look like? What does my health look like? What is the reality? And your gut will tell you. Your gut will tell you more than anything else. I'm not saying this is not an intellectual card. This is not swords, okay? There's nothing deceptive going on here. It's just that, to me, it feels that there's a lot of potential confusion, potential for confusion, and fooling yourself if you're not careful. So, let me point that out here astrologically. Talking about the compression here. All these planets are compressing over here. And whenever they get near to this point right here, it puts tremendous pressure on Neptune over here. And the Neptune energy at this point under hard squares like this would indicate all the unhealthy aspects of Neptune energy, things like illusions, delusions, betrayal, lies, deception, self-defeating behavior, sicknesses and illnesses and conditions that are not appropriate and healthy for you, but they are actually perhaps part of your everyday life. You don't even know it. Like some people like to smoke a lot, or drink a lot, or eat a lot, or they are very harsh on themselves, or they are very self-destructive, but they don't even know it. Okay? And this is the area of hidden enemies, sickness from within that is very difficult to define. And you've got to reveal it to heal it. And so with this compression over here, my feeling is that if your gut is telling you, and there's things like, okay, hold on, how can I do this? Okay, I'm going to do something personal here, okay, Tina? You said trauma is carried in the gut, okay? About, let's see, 2005. Was it 2005 or so? I went through some spectacular revelations in my own life, and I was completely unaware of them. I think it was 2000. Anyway, it was quite a while ago, quite a few years ago. And I went through this, because I've had a very kind of, I don't like to admit it, but in some ways a very self-destructive life, a lot of illusion, delusion stuff, very, very subjective to the negative impacts of drugs and alcohol and things like that. I'm alive to tell the tale. You'd never know I had a problem. But like a lot of people, we all have inner problems. And I had some very, very serious problems, things that happened to me in childhood. And I wasn't aware of them until they came into my consciousness. One day, just in a random conversation with a wonderful friend of mine, Juliet, something came out of my mouth, blah, 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 about what happened to me as a young man and a child, and also as an adult. It just came out of my mouth casually. And then everything went silent. And Juliet said, "Stop the car. Pull over. We need to talk." And I was like, "What?" "Okay, all right, you're my buddy. I trust you." So I parked up, and she looked at me from the passenger seat, and she said, "Do you realize what you just said? Do you realize what just came out of your mouth?" And I went, "What? You mean what I just said? What? What do you?" And then she said, and she repeated it, and I went, "Oh, I see what you mean. Wow. Oh, that's freaky. That's weird." In other words, it's about trauma, deep, deep trauma that I had been carrying in my body, in my gut, in my body, mind, heart, and soul for decades, my whole life up until that moment. And when it surfaced I kind of went into this tailspin, and I went into years of therapy, psychotherapy, and lots of counseling and support to help me deal with it. And now, of course, I'm healed, and I'm very, very happy. And so what I'm sensing for you, Tina, here, let me go back, is that with the Seven of Cups, you mentioned traumas in the gut. If something is telling you that it's time to admit something to the self or deal with something and put it to rest, if it deserves anger and expression of anger, so be it. If it implies that important decisions are going to have to be made that factor in things that were never revealed before, you've got to reveal it to heal it. And if you're discovering right now with a much deeper level of clarity that you were perhaps traumatized in youth in such a way that it impacted your whole life, and you're seeing it as an adult today, it's very, very important, because it's like the hidden enemy is your own wounding, your own, but it comes to a point where it wants to be healed. And it has to be revealed to be healed. That's why I'm talking about this energy healed here, so that the hidden enemy, the buried trauma, is described. Mercury, healed with Venus, and so on, in such a way that it's no longer so debilitating for you. In other words, your gut is telling you, I need to keep on going. I know I'm going to be dealing with some tough decisions, life-changing decisions, coming up over the next few months. What's it going to look like? What's the new landscape of my life? And for that to be understood, in order to make good decisions, you have to admit that there are things that are perhaps have been left ignored, buried under the surface, that need to be acknowledged. Doesn't mean you have to talk about them or anything. It doesn't mean you have to be healed. It just has to be acknowledged, perhaps internally and personally, and then it can be self-healing, can carry on from there. In other words, so you do not allow yourself to fool yourself that everything is great when it really, really isn't. And that's what often happens. People who've been heavily traumatized sometimes develop an incredible capacity to survive and create a kind of environment where they can convince themselves that everything's great and they can keep going through life, even though they've suffered tremendous trauma. It's an amazing capacity that human people have in order to survive. And it looks to me like you've got it, Tina. But eventually, it's nice to give it a bit of soothing and comfort going forward. Maybe it's time to prioritize your own healing now, as opposed to being a healer of others. How are we going to deal with this moving forward? Okay, one step at a time. Okay, Tina? To me, this feels like it's a big reading, but the only way to move forward is little chunks at a time, like nibbling. Just nibble it off, little tiny bits at a time as you go forward. Only dealing with reality as it is revealed to you one day at a time. Whatever your gut is telling you on that particular day. And if you end up going through something that's a bit weird and disorienting, like, wow, I never knew that about myself. Wow, maybe TL's got a point. Maybe it's time to, maybe I'm the one that needs to prioritize my own healing as number one. Because you've had a whole life career of healing other people, okay, Tina? There's no harm in recalibrating things in a very, very methodical, step-by-step manner, and you'll figure it out one day at a time, one decision at a time, one step at a time. In other words, you go from here to here. What's my gut telling me to do today? Oh, okay, I do that. I manifest that. Okay, go to sleep, come up next day. What's my gut telling me to do the next day? Oh, okay, I can make that happen. And it could also be to do with how am I going to manifest my new reality? Well, you do it one step at a time. One little step, and you live and learn as you go. It's very, very important with the Page of Pentacles here that you understand you're going to learn as you go. Okay? Trusting your gut the whole way. No irrational decisions. All decisions made at the depths of your soul. Okay? Tina Mill, I just see your notes. Hold on, let me read the notes here. Give me a second here. I had an MRI. I have something on my right temporal bone, okay, white matter changes, which looked like chronic ischemic small vessel disease. I'm down to $200 disability said because you make too much money. Oh, okay. All right, I get it. What an annoyance. There is a difference between, because I don't know if we've ever gone into this in real depth, okay, Tina? Yeah, you could be scared. With the Seven of Cups, it would be understandable to be like, oh my God, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? So, because I've had to deal with this stuff a lot in my own life, okay? Because of physical health disabilities. I've had to deal with SSI. For everybody who's not aware, these are government health programs to keep you alive. SSI, SSDI, and welfare, Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security. All these things simultaneously. The world of other people's money, the world of federal money, state money, and so on and so on. It can be very disoriented, confusing, and frustrating, because sometimes it just doesn't make sense. They said you made too much money. Oh, God. I mean, how frustrating can that be? I don't think we should go into too much detail here, Tina, about the hardcore dollars aspects. I'd love to hang out with you on the side, okay? I'd be happy to arrange that, okay? So don't worry, okay? I think this is very, very important that we talk this out. Okay. So I'm going to leave this as it is. We're going to figure things out one step at a time, okay? Even including the money, honey. All right? All right, let's wrap it up. We have another reading, folks, for I Love Tarot. Okay, I gotta shuffle up again, folks. This is my last reading for the night, by the way, everybody. All right, I Love Tarot. Let's have a look. Wow, it's been a long time. General advice, of course, basically. So what? Again, we're around the imagine yourself. Use your imagination, folks. We're at this beautiful campfire, at this beautiful retreat. We've had a wonderful time hanging out together in nature. Beautiful skies, beautiful air, beautiful water, beautiful trees and plants and animals, beautiful shelter, beautiful company. All right? And we're just going to share a moment with I Love Tarot. What kind of messages do we have tonight for I Love Tarot? Okay, cards are nicely shuffled and we're ready to go. Let's have a look. You've seen this many, many times, I Love Tarot, so there's no surprises here for you. Let's have a look. Okay, we have a pristine cut. Here's the situation. Here's the challenges. Here's how we're going to handle it. Let's have a look. External influences. The Star. Okay, so this is sometimes to do with Aquarius, the water bearer. Someone's got to do it. Someone's got to carry the water. So, it's like, I think this points very acutely towards this tipping point here. I mean, I don't think it's a coincidence that you're here tonight, I Love Tarot. Because we're all the whole world is at a tipping point. It's not just the TarotLumination Love Tribe or a bunch of astrologers or tarot readers or, whatever political party you are. It's the whole world, okay? We're heading into the age of Aquarius, okay? For real. This is the real age of Aquarius. The last one was 250 years ago, okay? So, with the Aquarius vibe here, so it might be that in some ways, dear I Love Tarot, it's like, if I recall from working together years ago, you had some extremely bumpy, challenging circumstances, all sorts of things, like almost unimaginable stress, and you dealt with them in your own ways, and then you kind of went off on your own journey, and now you're back here. It makes me feel that you're one of these people that is like an example of like it's almost like you have to have hope, otherwise you would just disappear under a rock, you would jump off a cliff, jump in front of a bus or something, so with the Star card here, the way I'm feeling it, I Love Tarot, is that please give yourself a round of applause. Give yourself, if you could look in the mirror and basically kind of do one of these things, like pretend I'm you, okay? Pretend I'm I Love Tarot and I'm looking in the mirror and TL is talking to me. So look in the mirror, okay? Okay? You see how awesome you are? Do you see how you've got through life? You've got to these points. You went through this hell. You went through that hell, this hell and that hell. And you're here today to tell the tale. And you have a nice title to the channel, I Love Tarot. And the only way that could have happened is if you somehow carried the energy of hope. In other words, someone's got to do it. Somebody has to do it. And I would call it living by example. So I don't know if you feel that you have been observed by others as being an example of the expression of hope. Oh, Bubba's hungry. Bubba's hungry. I'm going to have to get Bubba some snacks. But it makes me feel that it's important that you recognize that you're like a living example of the Star card, because you really could not have, made it without the energy of hope. And you weren't really delivering hope to others. You were really delivering hope to yourself. That's how I look at it, okay? That's my interpretation. And you need to understand that. You need to understand that that's a very, very powerful energy, to have hope when there is no evidence to support the belief that there is hope, okay? Okay? Right, Bubba? All right, Bubba? So if you don't mind, folks, I have to, this is an urgent sign here that I have to feed the monster. So if you bear with me just a second, okay? I will be right back. It's not going to take me too long, but I need to get something in his little tummy, okay? So we're going to do that, okay? Okay, come on. All right, Bubba. Come on, Bubba. Come on. They're not going to mind. It's okay. We've got to do this. Come on. Perfect timing. Thank you for your patience. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, I know. Oh, isn't that beautiful? I have to tell you, I understand you love Tara. I really do. The little cats here, they give me so much love. And I like them a lot. Beautiful creatures, aren't they? I mean, some people hate cats. I can understand it. It might freak them out. But these little three cherubs. Anyway, let's have a look. So, back to the message here. What I was trying to say is that I think this is about self-awareness, self-acknowledgement, that it feels very much like a mirror to me here. As your reader, it makes me feel like it's important that you acknowledge and understand the energy of hope, what it means, and how you, it's important to, I guess part of it is keep it up, but it could be much, I would say it could be more prominent in your life, where now that you realize you're actually, you yourself, you are actually symbolic of the energy of hope, of the of the star card. And there's a reason why the star card exists. I mean, the concept and the energy of hope is a very genuine phenomenon. And without it, life can feel so hollow, so awful. For example, in the country of China right now, the energy of hope is going like this. People are now realizing that there is no hope. And so they are reformatting their whole philosophy and attitude towards life to live in an environment where there is no hope. And there's about 980 million people who feel that way. Probably a lot more. Because there is no hope. And they know it. And a lot of people on earth live in a state where there is no hope. But you have that, okay? You have that. And it feels to me like it's important that not only do you have that, it's important to wear it as a badge. Like a badge of honor. Like if it was on your hat or something. You know, I have my hats with different things. You don't have to shove it in people's face. But it's very important to continue to radiate that energy. Let's have a look. What's the situation here? Okay. Well, again, wow, the world card here. So again, I'm going back to the astrology. It's the end of an era for the world, okay, but also for you, I Love Tarot, in your own way. I don't know. I can't remember anything about your personal astrology, but the energy of Capricorn makes me feel that is indicated here in that the whole Capricorn vibe of the last 18 years is effectively over. It's history. And a new vibe is coming across the world, and that's the Aquarius era that we're heading into right now. And so it's the end of an era. We're talking about it's the end of an era. Not only for the whole world, but for you personally. Okay? It's important to acknowledge that. Both these cards feel to me like it's all about acknowledgement, self-acknowledgement, like nodding your head. Yup, it's the end of the world for me as I know it, and a whole new world is opening up to me. I don't even know what it is yet. You don't even have to know what it is yet, but it's very important to understand that you are at this tipping point in life, in history, for you at the same time as for the rest of the world. Okay? I'm not saying we know what it looks like. Who knows? What's the challenge here? Okay, so with the Ten of Pentacles, you might be there might be this deep fear, like, am I ever going to have a chance at what any sane, normal, healthy, loving, happy person wants? And that would be money, stability, home, family, kindness, love. Enough to the extent where I Love Tarot could be that. And have all of that, to be able to share that. You know, it's almost like an idealized energy here with the Ten of Pentacles, where it kind of symbolizes everything good here on earth of a life well lived. Like you made good decisions. You didn't hurt people for a living. You didn't deprive people or scam people for a living. You worked hard. You made very tough decisions. And you had to deal with all the challenges of life. And then there's this, like, it makes me feel like there's this deep fear. And a lot of people have this, like, wow, it kind of slipped away. I may never, ever get that thing. Like this, let's just say that this embodies the American dream. Okay? Home, family, faith, freedom, comfort, safety, security, opportunity, abundance. All the good, really, really wholesome things that any loving, caring, honest, trusting, respectful person would aspire to in life. And yet there's a fear like, oh, God, I don't know. Oh, maybe I missed out, or maybe it's never going to be quite that way. All right, so how are we going to deal with this going forward? Okay. Okay, this is another major arcana, okay? So going forward, there's no point in trying to force anything here. Okay, so with the Ten of Pentacles, okay, let me go back here with the, okay, hold on, Rebecca. Rebecca! That's what it is. So what I'm sensing with the Ten of Pentacles is that if I recall from the years that we used to work together, there was tremendous strife, chaos, upheaval, pain, suffering in every aspect in the family situation, in the home. You know, money, health, stability, security, transportation, communications, jobs, all of that, everything you could possibly imagine that didn't work out in terms of having it all. And so you're probably very acutely aware of not having tasted the American dream in the way that you see it in the movies, where you meet a loving partner. You have enough abundance and success in your life where you can have nice shelter. You can buy nice things now and again. You have enough left over where you can give presents to people that you love. You can invite people over for the weekend and have campouts. You can save for your future, for your retirement. You have children, and your children have children. All these things that are kind of built into the American bedrock, and you kind of got screwed. And yet there is hope. There is this hope for you. So what does the new version look like? So you have to have hope. It doesn't mean that you're going to suddenly get all those things that were denied or deprived or stolen or never even had a chance to manifest. All I'm suggesting is that you're super hyper smart. If I recall, you're kind of like off on the Mensa chart somewhere, 180 plus IQ or something crazy, where you're very, very aware of what's working and what's not working in your life. And going forward in this transition, in this huge transformation, going into the Aquarian era, things are going to change whether you like it or know it or not. And so going forward, I'm not going to dare to predict the details of what those changes would look like. But in order for you to maintain hope and to have a taste of at least a glimpse of your best life, it's going to require, number one, immense patience, immense persistence, immense prayer. I'm not trying to sort of like, please give me a new, I don't know, I want a new car. Please give me a new house. I want new clothes. I want new home, family. I want. Because that's coming from the position of like deprived. And what you're doing is amplifying what you don't have. So going forward with the Hangman, what I'm sensing is that there's no point in trying to figure out the mechanics or the details of what this new life, this new world is going to look like. The important thing is to understand that life as you've known, it's the end of the world as we know it. Remember that old song? It's the end of the world as we know it, and I feel fine. Okay. So it's like you don't have an option except to maintain the hope. It's almost like it's a badge of honor. I keep going anyway. I am Rebecca. I am Love Tarot. I Love Tarot. And yeah, I got screwed over. Bad. But I'm still here and I'm going to keep going. I'm going to maintain the hope. Because that's me. I am a living example. I am living by example. And so that means you have to keep going. You have to keep going anyway, despite no exact obvious signs of like, well, where do I go? What do I do? It's almost like with the Hangman, you have to wait till it comes to you. Like when events start coming to you, and then filter them. Like, have I attracted that through manifestation, or is that through because I have not manifested, and all I am attracting is random chaos that's not really my energy? So you have to learn to discriminate and understand what that is. So going forward, the Hangman is indicating immense patience, and we're also looking at immense trust, immense hope, and the understanding that life is over as you've known it, at least at some fundamental level of the soul, and that a new life is unfolding, whatever that might be. And you won't know what it is until fate supposedly brings it to you. It's kind of a frustrating reading. For me, honestly, to deliver this reading to you, it makes me feel like, damn, I wish I had more crystallized answers, like perfect answers where you could just go, oh, okay, I understand. Thanks, TL. That's great. I got it. I know exactly what you're talking about. I don't feel that here at all. I feel with the Hangman, it's just like, what's important is coming to an awareness that we're going through a tipping point. It's global and it's personal for you. It's very deeply personal. All right, so let's wrap this up. Oh, hi. Hold on. I got it. Don't worry, Papa. Come here. Get you some water, okay? Did you finish your nibbles? Okay, there, go have a glass of water. You can have some of my water. You're going to double check the reading. This is the reading we just did for I Love Tarot, Rebecca. Okay? Everything good? Does it meet all the requirements? Have I done a good job? Yeah? Uh-huh. Well, little Bubba. Also, what was that other expression? Give me a second, I Love Tarot. I just had a little moment of awakening, okay? Yeah. What is it, Bubba? You just want to cuddle? Is that it? Is that all it is? Come on. Okay, I'm going to have to settle here with Bubba, and we're going to have to wrap it up. So, as far as I recall, Rebecca, animals are a very, very important part of your life. Tina's got a good point there. Like animals, birds. For some reason, I have a connection with animals as well. Lots of people do. And I'm one of those... do you remember when I think it was you used to do animal pet psychic readings, didn't you? Something like that. And then it made you kind of frustrated and you had to stop because life got in the way or something. Yeah, so it makes me feel like it's kind of a frustrating reading, but I'm hoping that you understand anyway, and that it's not the end of the world. It's just that what we're doing is we're all of us facing headlong into this massive societal shift, societal change. And it happens at the personal level, and it happens to the whole of society. Okay? Also, what I was going to say is that when you have something that is above you, above yourself, and all of, like each of us, we all have, I know in my own way, I'm a very, very self-oriented person. And that's just how I'm built. But when you have something or someone or a cause or a meaning or purpose that is above you, outside of you, and it kind of becomes more important than yourself, then that can, in some way, weird way, become very comforting, you know? Like, like there's a couple people that I like to watch, and one of them, he's like, the things that give him hope in his life are his dogs and his other pets, because he loves them unconditionally. He just loves them. They take up huge amounts of time and energy and resources, but he loves them anyway. And it's the same thing with his wife and his kids. He loves them anyway. And for some reason, that love starts to grow like it's its own energy, and that provides almost like superpowers that you didn't know you had. Whereas there are other people that I know personally who didn't love anything or anyone except their own overinflated self. These were people who were, one in particular was a complete megalomaniac narcissist, and the whole idea, the concept that he could possibly love was, I don't know. I don't see how it would be possible. But that's what I'm trying to suggest, is that the thing is, you already know this stuff, okay, Rebecca? I know you know this stuff because you have a very, I'm sure, if I recall, you have a very powerful connection with animals, okay? And animals can bring you hope. Look, here's little Bubba. There he is. He's in a kind of a trance at the moment. All right, everybody, I hope that helps. I hope you all got something out of these little mini readings, and we'll do this again next Sunday, and we'll be ever closer to the tipping point. Okay, in the meantime, I am going to step out. Wish you all the best, and we'll follow up soon. Okay, everybody? I'm literally just going to head out, okay? I'm going to play some music. I'm going to play one of my songs. This is my Second Amendment song. Some of you know that I have quite a strong feeling about our Constitution and the First and Second Amendment. So I'm going to play that song. It's a little bit longer, and it will allow everybody to hang out on the chat for as long as you want, for a few more minutes. But otherwise, I'm out of here, okay? So let's see if I can find the song first. Okay, dokie. I think I know where it is. I have to go hunting all over my computer, but I know I have it. Here we go. And I can put this over here. Okay, I'm calling this my 2A song. It's from TarotLumination. It's pretty rough, but I hope you get something out of it. When will I stop being censored? All I'm doing is speaking the truth. Instead, I am labeled as a domestic terrorist extremist with a short fuse. The fake news just lies and suppresses. The Marxists are writing the scripts. The unaware masses get led to their slaughter while patriots try to resist. Oh, you can't take me down and you can't shut me up. I got the First Amendment by right. And if the first one is threatened, I've still got the second. I won't go down without a fight. Yes, we still have our sweet Constitution, but it's severely being abused. Our only solution is a new revolution to take back what belongs to you and me. I'm sick of the perverts and pedos trying to normalize child sacrifice. They revel in evil and their satanic rituals packaged in their delicious lies. No, you can't take me down and you can't shut me up. I got the First Amendment by right. And if the first one is threatened, I've still got the second. I won't go down without a fight. It all began way back on 4th of July in 1776. The founders and fighters gave their lives for our freedom. I don't want to live through that again. You see, I'm recalling a past life from that exact time. I shed blood to shake off the chains of the tyrants and despots who owned us like cattle. But if I have to, I'll fight them again. Oh, you can't take me down and you can't shut me up. I got the First Amendment by right. And if the first one is threatened, I've still got the second. I won't go down without a fight. No, you can't take us down and you can't shut us up. We got the First Amendment by right. And if the first one is threatened, we've still got the second. We won't go down without a fight.